Oh guys, it is so dark right now and I'm so sorry. It might not affect you. You might not even notice, but it is so gloomy today, but this is literally the only day I can film. I am very excited to talk about all the books I read in April. I feel like this was the month of rereads. I reread multiple books on audio because I've been playing my husband's Switch. I've been playing Stardew Valley and it is so fun. So I've been listening to audiobooks, and the audiobooks I've been listening to are rereads of books that I love. So now it is time just to get into it, shall we? First, I read Never Over by Claire Gilmore. This is her new release. It comes out in October. I don't know what day, but the end of October, and I love Claire Gilmore. She is an incredible writer. I love her books, but she also is the sweetest. I've met her and she's just an angel. I love her. It's a second chance. She is a musician and he works for this band. And so I feel like the premise and like the jobs and like the setup of the story was very interesting. I really, really love a musician or a tour in a book, which you get in this book. I love Claire Gilmore's writing. It was so good. I really, really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars. I feel like Perfect Fit is still my favorite by her. I love that book, but this one was really, really good. I definitely recommend adding it to your TBR and reading it in October when it comes out. The only thing that like knocked it down a little bit was the alternating timelines kind of annoyed me by the end. But other than that, I absolutely love this book. I love Claire Gilmore. I love her writing. Especially the epilogue of this book was so good. I feel like when I met Claire Gilmore, she was just so sweet, such an angel. I feel like you can see that in her books, how like kind and sweet she is through her characters. The male main character was just so sweet to the female main character. I love a second chance romance. I love the discussions around music and art and things like that. I feel like this book is very unique. It's also set in Nashville, a lot of it is, and I love Nashville. I go all the time. And I feel like if you are interested in Nashville and want to like read it from a native, because Claire Gilmore is from Nashville, you should read this book as well. But I really, really enjoyed it. I think there's like a couple spicy scenes, not a ton. There were so many like quotes and things that I highlighted because her writing is just so good. So I highly recommend this book. In the meantime, you should read Perfect Fit because I love that book so much. Next, I reread Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. We all know how I feel about the Rebel Blue Ranch series, and this book released in April, so I reread it on audio. The audiobook was so good. If you haven't read the series, you should read it, but also you should listen to it because the audiobooks are phenomenal. I love the narrators for every single book. I think I've listened to a little bit of Done and Dusted, but I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I did listen to Swift and Saddled, Lost and Lasted, and Wild and Wrangled, and the audiobooks are so incredible. The narrators are so good. It's dual narration and it's just incredible. Also, I got this art print from the signing because I went to Lila Sage's signing for Wild and Wrangled. Sarah Adams was her conversation partner, which was just so fun. So anyways, 5 stars for this book. We all know that I love this series. If you haven't read the series, it's a small town cowboy romance, Western vibes, very quick, fast-paced. The found family is so good. The characters, I just love the series so much. I don't know which one is my favorite. I just love them all. So I loved Wild and Wrangled so much. It was so good, and it was just so fun to be back with these characters since it's been a while since I read it for the first time. I just love this book. So good. Next, I read Summer in the City by Alex Astor. This is her romance debut. Funnily enough, this is my first book by Alex Astor. She wrote the Light Lark series, which I have not read, but I had seen such good reviews for this book, and I had also heard the premise, and it sounded so good. So I borrowed it from the library, and this is basically like a neighbor situation, kind of enemies to lovers, set in New York City, that kind of vibe. And it's so quick. It's like literally less than 300 pages. I flew through it. I feel like I read it like in less than a day. I read it so fast. And I feel like this book is just so nostalgic. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I love a book that makes me feel nostalgic. And I've never been in New York City, but it just made me kind of feel that way. And I also think if you love New York City or you want to visit New York City, you should read this book because there's so many like descriptions of the city, places they go to. And I feel like if you went to New York City or lived there, it'd be so fun to read this book and read about all the places they visit because the female main character is a screenwriter and she's writing a screenplay. The setting of the screenplay is at different cities, one of them being New York City. So the main characters go and like visit all these places that she needs to write about. And it was just so good. Also, this is literally the perfect book for the summer. If you were looking for a summer rom-com, quick, fast-paced, beach read, pool read, you should read this. I think there's a couple spicy scenes, not too much that I remember. I literally wrote them frolicking all over the city to write her screenplay. Literally, that's what they were doing. They were just frolicking. I mean, not really, but I just love that word. Them frolicking all around the city was just so fun to read. I feel like I will want to reread this. I don't know. I just loved it so much. I gave it a 4.5 star. I just had a blast reading this. I definitely recommend it for the summer. It is so good, and I really want to own it because these sprayed edges on the editions are so beautiful. So love this book. So much fun for the summer. Highly recommend. I really want to read the Light Lark series now since I loved her writing. It was really good, and it makes me want to go to New York City even more. I feel like a book in New York City I'm going to love. Like I feel like there's a theme with books. If they're set in New York City, I'm going to enjoy them because I just love reading about it. Next, I read an anticipated release, Fearless by Lauren Roberts. This is the third and final book in the Powerless trilogy. And I did put my review on Goodreads, but I had to like make it a spoiler because I didn't have honestly much to say that wasn't a spoiler about this book. I'm giving it 3 stars. Sadly, this is also YA, so if you haven't read the series, the first book follows Peyton and Kai, and Peyton, basically in this society there's elites and there's ordinaries. Peyton is a ordinary pretending to be an elite. Kai is the enforcer of the king. He's one of the princes and he kills ordinaries. There's some trials in the first book. So the first book I gave 5 stars. I love that book. I feel like it was so fast paced. The romance, the like tension was so good. And then Reckless came out, which is the second book. And I actually really enjoyed that book. I feel like most people didn't enjoy it, but I honestly had a good time reading it. I gave it like a 4 star, had fun. I feel like it was kind of back and forth a little bit, kind of repetitive. There wasn't much plot, but I just had a good time, honestly. And then at the end of the second one, I was so excited for Fearless. And I feel like this book just kind of fell flat for me. And I feel like I just didn't like where the author went with the plot. Like I didn't really understand it because I was like, there's a solution here that we could easily come to. I don't know why we're like spinning around in a circle to get to the solution when we could just get to the solution. I don't know, it felt kind of dumb and also very repetitive. I feel like the main characters were very repetitive. Every few chapters there was a scene that was like basically the same scene over and over again. Also, there was one character that I do not like what happened with that storyline. I didn't understand the point of it. And then the end, I was like kind of confused, not confused. I understood it, but then I was like, that's annoying. Like I didn't like this. And there was one character that I really, really loved in the first book. And I feel like she just ruined him by the third book. I didn't like him anymore, which made me really, really sad. I also felt like the dialogue was kind of cringy. I feel like in Powerless, she has incredibly beautiful writing. So many amazing quotes that Kai thinks about Peyton or just like incredible dialogue, things like that. And I feel like I don't want to say she like heard that and ran with it, but it kind of felt like a little too much. I even felt that a little bit in Reckless, but especially in this book, I was like, okay, no one would really say that. It's very cringy and like kind of took me out of the story. But I will say the audiobook was really good. I listened to like the end of the book on audio and it was really good. It was also one thing about this book, it was very fast paced. I read it so quickly. There was a lot going on. Also, there was something that happened in this book that also happened in the first book. And I was like, I don't know why we're like doing it twice. Also, I felt like so many things in this book were so similar to the Hunger Games, which the first book a lot of people have compared to the Hunger Games. And there's a couple scenes where I could see that in Powerless, but in this book, there was multiple things, like tiny things that I was like, this is just literally a copy of the Hunger Games, which obviously nothing's new anymore. I get that, but I did feel like this is so similar to the Hunger Games that I just like couldn't. I was like, this happened in the Hunger Games and it was done well because I obviously love the Hunger Games. And I'd also just read Sunrise and the Reaping, so I do really like Peyton and Kai and I loved their story, like how it wrapped up for them. And I really like the romance, but I feel like also in this book, we already got to the romance. Like there was no like tension or build up because we already got there in this book. So didn't love it, but I do recommend the series. Next, I read Heart Check by Emily Charlotte. This is a YA hockey romance and it was so good. This was an arc that comes out, I think in November, and I just love this book. Please put this on your TBR if you like hockey romance, if you want to read YA, if you don't like spice, if you like just like a fun rom-com, you will enjoy this book. I loved it so much. I gave it a 4.25. I really loved it. It was so much fun. I love a hockey romance, and so it was so fun to read a YA hockey romance. He's in high school and he's like hoping to get like a scholarship to like go play hockey at a school, etc., you know? And I read it so fast. I literally read it in like a day. I binged the whole thing. It's, I think, less than 300 pages and it was so fast paced, so quick. I love the romance. I think it's kind of like enemies. They don't really like each other, but they also work together at his parents' restaurant, which was really fun to read. I also feel like since going to a couple hockey games, I can kind of understand hockey talk. Like I love a hockey romance, but now like when they say things, I'm like, oh, I know what that means because I've been to a hockey game, which is really fun. Also was like on the edge of my seat as they were playing hockey. I was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next? The romance was just so sweet. I feel like if you love So High School by Taylor Swift, that is this book. This book is so high school, so tender and sweet. I feel like there's just nothing like first love. I feel like when you read a book and even like a second chance romance or like they're in high school, it's just like so sweet and tender and like there's just nothing like falling in love for the first time. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It does not have spice, obviously, because it is YA, but it does have a bit of language, but I highly recommend it. It was so good. I also love reading a YA book that's just so good, and I really want to get this when it comes out because the cover is beautiful and the spread edges are stunning, and also the author is so sweet. I DM'd her about the book. She followed me back. We chatted. She is the sweetest. So highly recommend reading the book and following her on Instagram because she's an angel. Okay, next I read Watch Me by Tahereh Mafi. This is the first book in a Shatter Me spin-off series, which, if you know me, the Shatter Me series is one of my favorite series of all time. Oh my goodness, I love that series so much. So when I saw she was coming out with a spin-off, I could not wait, because the fact that I was gonna see Aaron Warner again, I couldn't wrap my head around that. I could not believe it. So when this came out, I was so excited. Also, I got the beautiful like first edition print. This cover is stunning. Please look at the inside papers, or the end papers, and then the actual hardcover without the dust jacket. This also is like less than 400 pages. It's very quick and fast paced. I feel like when I started this book, I was like, oh yeah, when I read the Shatter Me series, I literally binged each book in one sitting. I could not put them down. And that's the same way with this book. I literally read it in one day. If you haven't read the Shatter Me series, I would not suggest starting here. You need to start with the Shatter Me series, but if you've read the Shatter Me series, you definitely should read the spin-off. I feel like sometimes spin-offs can be like unnecessary. Why are we doing that? But I feel like this was so good. I feel like it set up the series very well. I don't know how many books it's gonna be. I did read this in a reading vlog, and that will be up sometime in May, so I did like share my thoughts and stuff in that video. But I just absolutely binged this book. I could not put it down. It was so close to a 5-star, but the only reason I think I didn't give it a 5-star is because it is the first book in a series, and I feel like it's only gonna get better from here. So I gave it like a 4.75. Also, I don't think it really gave me a 5-star feeling. I don't know. It just feels right at a 4.75, you know? The male main character that this book follows, we have already met, so I really like him, obviously. But the female main character, I feel like I'm already so attached to her, and it's been one book. I really like her, and I feel like she's so misunderstood, and it makes me so sad. Like, I love her, and I'm so excited for the romance that's gonna develop in this series. And I just loved seeing the characters from Shatter Me, like seeing Aaron Warner and Juliet again. I could not handle it. Literally could not handle it. How am I supposed to wait another year for the next book? Like, that is so sad. I know she's coming out with obviously the next book, and I'm assuming the same time next year. So I'm going to have to wait another year for the next book. But also, I'm very excited to see what the next book looks like, because these editions are just so beautiful. Like, I get not having special editions for every book, but also when a book I love or a book comes out like a first print run, I'm so annoying because I have to have it. Like, if a book comes out with a beautiful edition like this, I have to have it, which I was gonna buy this regardless, but like, even books that I like maybe wasn't going to read, but it has a beautiful edition, I'm like, I need it now because it's stunning. I reread Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. This obviously came out this month. I did a whole reading vlog on this book, so I'm going to keep this brief, because if you want a 10-minute long yap about my thoughts of this book, you can watch that video. But I read this in March because I got an ARC, and then I reread it on audio in April, and the audiobook is incredible. I gave this a 4.5 stars. Love this book so much. The audiobook is absolutely incredible. I feel like if you're gonna read this book and you like audiobooks, I recommend the audiobook because it was so good. Narrated by Julia Whalen, a queen, incredible. But I will give you a little plot summary if you don't know what this is about. So basically it's about Alice, who is wanting to write this story on this older woman who was famous, and she's kind of now like hidden away in Georgia. So she goes to visit her, and the woman's like, hey, you can like apply kind of for a month. We will sit down and talk, and I will decide if I want you to write my story or I want Hayden, the other writer in this book, to write my story. So you're following them. This is definitely different from Emily Henry's other books, but I still really, really loved it. I feel like the part about the old woman, her name is Margaret, her like ancestor, I got a little tad bored at that part. I feel like if I didn't get bored, this would have been a 5-star just because I loved it so much, and I love the audiobook. I feel like just Emily Henry's in a league of her own. If you haven't read her new release, if you haven't read her books, I'm jealous of you because they are so good. I got the Barnes & Noble edition, and it's just stunning. I have to show you the end papers. Are you joking me? Are you joking me? I feel like the story felt more special upon my reread because I knew how it was gonna end. I love these characters. I feel like a lot of people are saying there's not much romance in this, but I feel like there's a good bit of romance. The plot was really interesting. Once we got past her ancestors, it was really interesting, and I loved it. I love Emily Henry's books. I love the summer setting. Really want to go to Savannah, Georgia now, and I already cannot wait to like reread this because I just love her books so much, and this cover is just stunning. I feel like her books give me like a nostalgic feeling for spring and summer because her books always come out in the spring, so I just feel nostalgic. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. I've already talked about that book. Next, I reread Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Also not gonna harp on this because I did harp on this a lot in my wrap up in October. My October wrap up, if you want to hear my thoughts, is in that. I listened to it on audio, and the audio is absolutely incredible. If you read this book, you should listen to the audiobook because it's duet narration. It's incredible. Like, literally, I think the best audio narration I've ever listened to. This is Abby Jimenez's new release, and I gave it 5 stars. One of my favorite books of 2024. Absolutely love this book. I feel like you should just go in and read it. Do check trigger warnings because it is pretty heavy. I feel like there's this discussion going around about Abby Jimenez's books where people think they're rom-coms, and I do not think Abby Jimenez's books are rom-coms in the slightest. They are funny. She's hilarious. There's definitely like quirky, funny aspects of her books, but they're also gut-wrenching. Every time I read one of her books, I am gutted. So just prepare yourself for that, but it was so good. I really love this book, obviously. I have seen like mixed reviews, but I highly recommend it. It is heart-wrenching, check trigger warnings, very sad. You're probably gonna cry, but you're also gonna laugh, and it's just so good. So next I read The Double Play by Anna Conwell. This is the 4th book, I want to say, in the More Than a Game series. This is baseball, and I really enjoyed this. I love Anna Conwell's books. She's just guaranteed to give me a great grand old time. I'm going to love it. It's going to be cute and sweet and fun, no spice. I love the sports aspect that she's doing in the series. I'm really excited for the next book in the series. Also, let's talk about how The Sun just came out. Wow. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I binged Anna Conwell's books and I read this very quickly, so definitely recommend. Next, I reread One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I just got my copy today and it is beautiful. Please look at this copy. I got it from Target because I needed the art. Please look at this art. Oh my goodness. Obsessed. I also have yapped and yapped about this book in a previous wrap-up. If you want to hear my full thoughts, you can go to my February wrap-up, is when I read this book. My favorite book of 2025 so far. Honestly, I think it's going to be very difficult to top this book for me in this year of 2025 because there's just something about it. It makes me feel nostalgic. Back to the nostalgia. It just is so good. So definitely recommend this. It's going to be the book of the summer. If you're looking for a summery read, you should read this. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I said this. I reread this on audio. The audio is really good. I had listened to it after I listened to Say You'll Remember Me, which is duet narration, and this is just one narrator. So it obviously wasn't as good as that, but the audio was still really good. But someone asked me on Instagram to talk about the reading order I recommend for Carly Fortune's books. So I brought them out for this occasion. So first, I would say start with Every Summer After. This is her first book and it's so good. I also read this like when I was first starting book content and I talked about it in a wrap up a few years ago. So if you want my initial thoughts, you can go there, but I really love this book. And then I would say read One Golden Summer. I definitely recommend reading Every Summer After before One Golden Summer. This is about the brother of the male main character in this book. So you see these characters in this book, which is just super fun. Has the same setting, Barry's Bay, set in Canada. Then I would say read The Summer Will Be Different, which is so good as well. Set on Prince Edward Island. Such a good summer romance. And then lastly, Meet Me at the Lake. I didn't love this one as much, but I still feel like her books are so bingeable and summery. The setting, she is so good at writing a summery setting. So I do recommend all of her books. Also, the cover is just stunning. I love the pink. That's the order I would recommend. Anyways, back to One Golden Summer. I read this in February. I reread it in April, and I'm already excited to reread my copy and annotate it because I just love this book so much. Oh my goodness, it's so good. I just love the characters and like everything about it. I feel like Charlie Florrick, that man, favorite male main character ever? Maybe. But if you're looking for a summery beach read, you should read this. It's so good. I feel like, oh my gosh, everything you could want in a romance is in this book. It makes me like nostalgic for summer. I think that's also it. Like, I'm just so excited to like sit by the pool and reread this because I feel like it just makes me like the summery setting, the way she describes it, you feel like you're there. And it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just so good. So, and I'm also obsessed with the Target edition because it has this like iridescent like shimmer. Can you see that? But yeah, I'm so excited to have a copy in my hands and put it on my shelf because I just love this book so much. 5 stars, obviously. Infinity Stars, my favorite book of 2025 so far. Lastly, I read Breakaway to You by Larissa Holmes. I had read her novella. I cannot remember what it's called. And you meet the male main character of this book in that novella, so I was really excited for this book. It's a hockey romance. He is a hockey player and he's kind of older. He's been playing for a long time. He's kind of getting to retirement age, and she is his physical therapist. The male main character in the novella is best friends with the guy in this book. You don't have to read the novella first. You can read this book and then go back to the novella. This book was just so good. It's closed door. The pacing was so good. I love the romance. I feel like it was just like so tender and sweet. I feel like Larissa, the author, is very good at simple moments, writing really sweet, like simple moments of just like them cooking in the kitchen or something like that. But you're just like on the edge of your seat because you're loving it so much. The male main character, he didn't really have a family growing up, so something as simple as cooking together was so abnormal to him, and so it was really special to read that. I feel like that's why also Larissa put those like special moments, because you can like see the male main character be like, oh, this is like love and just like living life with someone because he didn't have a family growing up. I just love this book and I'm very excited because there's gonna be more in this series, which is very fun. I feel like I just love a hockey romance. Closed door. Gave me everything I wanted. 4 stars. definitely recommend. So that is all for the wrap up. Thank you so much to the publishers for the arcs of these books, the ones that I got arcs of. Thank you to Penguin Random House Audio for the audiobooks of these books. And thank you to the author Larissa Holmes for the arc of Breakaway to You. So anyways, that is all for this wrap up. I hope you enjoyed hearing all about the books that I read in April. Very excited for May. I've already read some good books in May, so I'm very excited to talk about them, chat more, because there's so many new releases coming out in May I'm so excited about. Please let me know what you read in April. If you've read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts. But I think that's it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.